Nothing too crazy going on right now. Nothing too special. Operator selection is going to include an IQ. You've got a Maverick and a Thermite, so all of the hard destruction options available are being brought. That is going to be kind of obvious on Bank. You'll have that pretty much every single round. It's a slow top clear, as BDS want to establish that there are no roamers upstairs or in the middle floor before they start pushing the site. They've established that the top floor is cleared. Now they can start working downstairs, where there are some roamers from G2. They're using castle barricades to support this roam as much as they possibly can. Breaching charge is even being used upstairs, which is interesting.
It's the power of IQ. She might not have her frag grenades, but she does have those breaching charges available, so vertical play is something that she's very much...
Alright, MyBall1996 here, and we are watching the Pro Leagues. I did not get to watch earlier today due to previous engagements. However, we are watching them now. However, I did vote on my teams on an app that I use. For this particular one, we did in fact vote for G2. There will be no spoilers, just in case other people are joining us who have not yet watched the Pro Leagues.
That's a lot of time wasted there from Cancer Ketty, and he managed to take one player with him, which is pretty substantial. Now BDS are looking to try and clear out the rest of these roamers that actually persist. It's Fabian in the open area. Try and hold on.
It was actually a Lem's kill, so nice start for him on BDS.
Yes, a good one indeed, and they needed that refrag, but they're going to add to it as Shaiko gets Fabian. No Hibana, no problem, says Shaiko, as he can make Maverick work just fine. But Uno is still on the roam, and top square has not been cleared out by BDS, so he's going to be able to get one from behind before being refragged by Alems. That's the second refrag that Alems has managed to get. He's making it work for his team. He's keeping them in it, but Pengu, the aggression, shuts down Shaiko. And now with only 35 seconds, the last two on BDS have to push into the last two from G2.
It's a big brain play from Pengu, and one that usually ends up worse for Ware. So tough position to find themselves in for BDS, but you got to determine the location of the defenders, then fight from there. The good news is for G2 is they've got tons of plant utility at their disposal, but so does Secret. There'll go one concussion as it's a hot drop from Alems. Cryan is there, can't win it out, but Pengu will get it. And G2 will take round number 1. They get the opening pick. It snowballs from there. They wasted a lot of time in that first floor, and then they managed to survive the push at the end.
That was a unnaturally aggressive G2, I would say. Pretty aggro on those drop downs, on the roam upstairs. They did not let go of their roamers. They told them to stay up and hold for as long as possible, and it worked out. It worked out pretty well for G2.
Alright, so it looks like G2 won round 1.
They brought it all the way
They're
to
on
the end.
defense going.
And it could have gone BDS's way if not for the crossfire.
Looks like they're going Valkyrie, Maestro, Smoke, Castle, and Jaeger, with BDS going Sledge, IQ, Thermite, Zofia,
because if it had not been for that, it would have been a 3v2 favor attack, and they would have just consolidated and gone for a push in unison. And the last two players on the defense probably would have been stopped. Not the case, though. As you can see here on Bank, it's a map that you could say slightly favors BDS, though I don't know, it's kind of light favor, considering G2 just hasn't played it as many times, and that's the whole last season, mind you. I mean, if you look at recent statistics, it's more of the same. It's kind of, it doesn't really, neither of these teams have a whole lot to talk about on Bank, like most recently. So, yeah. It's just
I have a few different operators that I use
not much to talk about
based on which map I'm on, which I'm assuming is what they do as well. I have a couple of different, as far as watching the Pro Leagues and stuff, I have different teams that I root for. As well as different, believe it or not, as well as different commentators that I enjoy watching. Sometimes I enjoy watching
the defense of the upstairs being the primary focus for BDS.
The two that are actually commentating for this are my two favorites.
RXWD gonna spot out the Jaeger,
and
Uno,
Teru and Kickstar are my two favorite commentators. in all
It's
of
not really
the
much to be done about it. There's no one in a position to
R6
capitalize on that
esports.
information, so.
Yes, were they even spotted? I don't know if he was spotted in that one.
I don't think they marked him, if that's what you mean. Oh, this could be a really easy kill for Shaiko. It's going to be, actually, as long as... Oh, yeah, he's checked it, but no, the angle's being held by the Maestro, so he's got to be careful here. Should be a pre-fire. There it is. Hits the legs, but a 3 armor can survive, and Cryan does.
Anything else, and he's dead meat.
Yeah.
He's got 15 HP that he'll walk away with. At least it looks like thereabouts. So, Shaiko entering successfully, and Cryan will be in a tough spot for the remainder of the round. It's a secret, rather a Lems, rather, from Secret. That tagline is going to confuse me endlessly. We had that happen before. I can't remember. There was what team was it? They had like 2 or 3 players with different tags on.
I think it was Latin America. I think it was BD.
Oh, Cryan. All right, there you go. He picks away at Renshiro, and Kanto Raketti grabs a Lems as well. The hard destruction goes. Rafal falls.
A bomb has been located.
5v2 essentially at this point.
Look at that shield from Cryan. He's doing a lot of work from there. Shaiko will get the first kill for his team, but Pengu just prior had managed to take out Rafael on that aggressive play. RXWD gonna get Uno in the hallway. Shaiko and RXWD in a good position actually to win this, but it's gonna be difficult. They'll have to step up and regain that man advantage if they won't have any chance. Smoke's coming out here to stop the push into paper from Fabian. The long angle, the shield from Cryan, because he was able to survive earlier in the round, doing a lot of work, but RXWD going to get his second kill. Can he make it a third? No, is the answer as Fabian.
And G2 gets round 2 as well.
Nice angle there.
Well-played coordination from G2 and good patience. They played with a little bit of aggressiveness off-site, as you expect on a bank roam, and both times BDS looked like they were close to getting the roamers, but falling just short. On CEO defense, G2 were flying under the radar a little bit better. How much does that round change if Shaiko eliminates Cryan? Well, we mentioned that because he's a 3 armor, he survived with 15 HP. Cryan got 2 very important kills at long range and was still able to commandeer those evil eye cams as well. I think that round
this particular one is
different if Shaiko gets that opening.
This particular match, G2 is my favorite, but overall esports wise, I'm wholeheartedly a Space Station Gaming person.
Get to that shield position.
That's who I want to go through and win it all. Just wipe the floor with everybody.
A Maestro on a shield, he managed to do a whole heck of a lot of work from there, and I think that if it weren't for that, no, I agree with you. I think that BDS would have had a better chance. Not saying they would have won it, but they would have had a much better chance. It's going to be open area now, so no tellers for G2.
These teams did play on bank at DreamHack Montreal, but bear in mind that this was back in September, which, you know, was quite a ways ago, and might not even necessarily have the same impact, so to speak. So it was a 7-5 victory for BDS en route to a 2-0 victory of BDS over G2, which knocked G2 out of DreamHack Montreal before they could even make it to the playoffs. Just to add some insult to injury, a spawn peak potential from G2 onto BDS, but Renshiro plays a little bit tight to the building and doesn't put himself at any major risk. Could have been a major blow to BDS's potentials, losing that Thatcher.
So, operator selection, pretty standard stuff. So again, I mean, you're right, the lack of a Thatcher ban is going to give a little bit more freedom to BDS. No castle being brought in open area is kind of interesting to me for G2. They were bringing castle on the basement actually, but not so on open. That's very different. I would say open A is actually probably one of the best sites for castle, but of course G2 has their own way of going about it, and they, you know, they put thought into all of these decisions. Kanto Raketti, once again playing Legion inside of Archives. Now the reason he plays Legion on Archives is because he can do so much control by himself using his traps to gather information on all of the entry points. So he doesn't have to worry about getting flanked or anything like that because he knows where he's being pressured from thanks to the traps. RXWD might be able to mitigate that for BDS by using his gadget, but you know, that's a maybe. And even then, you're still getting information if you're Kanto Raketti because you know what's been shot.
Alem is on a one-man mission to find Kanto Raketti, having his own drone being situated. There you go. Usually it takes like just a short second to be able to open that one up. And Very aggressive is crying underneath the hatch, and Shaiko will punish him for it. G2 got better luck when Pengu peeked the hatch on that first round, but, you know, lightning doesn't strike twice. Alem's still trying to figure out exactly where Kanto Raketti is. Kanto peeks, it's ill-advised, he loses that one. Pretty hard, and down goes Pengu as well. The open area defense not working out very well as you're 1 kill away from a flawless round for BDS. It's Fabian in a 1v5. He calls himself the best player in the world, but it doesn't really matter how good you are in this situation. Most teams will be there to refrag you, and he'll hit Alems like a truck, but get taken out immediately by Renshiro. Like I said, the refrag potential in BDS is on the board.
So, what happened there? BDS read the aggression from G2, they played around the aggression from G2, and they did not let it well work. Because they expected it. They pre-aimed it, and they punished it. We saw multiple times there where G2 were just peeking things and dying to BDS holding angles, which is a good read from BDS. Now the question is, will G2 be able to change gears, or are they going to get stuck in their way and end up getting themselves punished over and over and over again? Or will it suddenly start working for G2 again, as it had been in the first 2 rounds? I couldn't say. I mean, it's really up to G2. One thing I will say is that I think going into this, G2 clearly are trying to come at this match as in a different mindset than they usually do, because their previous mindsets have not been working very well. And we've seen that in their recent results, especially with the Invitational qualifier. Didn't make it very far, and I think they got eliminated by M&M, right? If I'm not mistaken.
They did. G2 got knocked out by M&M. UK Massive?
Yep.
It's a UK Massive loss for Na'Vi in the first match.
Who also, to be fair, eliminated Vitality, which is pretty big too, so. And Orglis.
There's too many UK Massive jokes that I can make. There's so little time.
Yeah.
So little time.
And eventually got eliminated, or M&M eventually got eliminated by Chaos, but Chaos have actually been playing they played really well in the qualifiers.
And Chaos is going to be in our next matchup up against the Giants roster, now known as Rogue. Yeah. Them as Giants. Rogue is back in the game. We'll see if Giants Gaming is going to pick up another team, as they've noted in their Twitter post that I believe they're still looking to remain in our ecosystem. So, anywho, neither of those teams are currently active in this matchup. We have G2 with a victory over BDS. Possible? Who knows? 2-1 right now. Things can change, though. It's bank, it's defense. Operator bans don't really do all that much to make me think the attackers have a bigger advantage than they would usually, so this could just be par for the course. The entry from BDS is going to be on the main floor, not as much of a dedication onto that second floor like the very first time they attacked this site in round number 1. CCTV.
I am actually going to go ahead and log off a little early.
Instrumental at finding and picking out all that utility and gadgetry that's thrown out from G2. And as you can hear from the very